welcome to this session. My name is Katago Bashir. I'm going to take you through the work that you picked in P3 class. In this book, there may be some topics or some areas that you did not get properly or that are difficult to you. So that's why I'm here to go through with you. In this book, when you open page 58 to 59, there is a topic called living things in our environment. First of all, we started with the environment, and we say that environment are things around us. When you look at where you are sitting or where you are standing, there are very many things around you. Now, those are the components of the environment. Those are the very things that make up environment. But in our environment, there are things that were grouped according to the way they behave, the way they are characterized. Like when you look at the things that make up environment, we have living things and non-living things. Living things and non-living things. What are living things? When you look at that book, that very page, there is our definition there. Living things are things that grow, breathe, and reproduce. Living things are things that grow, breathe, and reproduce. I think when you look at around you, there are some things that you saw the other year. They were somewhere short, but at this time they are growing. You are seeing them growing. Even you yourself, you are growing, you are breathing, and there are very many things taking place in you. Now, living things are grouped according to the way they behave also. Now, we started with plants. When you look around you, there are plants that you normally play with, that those ones that you apply together. There are also animals. They are also living things. We have bacteria, we have fungi, then protozoa. All those ones are groups of living things. What are the characteristics of living things? In order for you to discover or to know living things around you, first of all, observe the characteristics of them. 1, living things grow. An example is you yourself. I want you to imagine the time you were in P2, the time you were in baby. Were you like that? Which means you are growing. And that shows that you are a living thing. Living things breathe. If you are there looking at me, can you breathe in? Breathe out? Breathe in? Breathe out. Look at your brother. He's also breathing. Look, first of all, look at your mom if he's there. He's also breathing in and out. And that breathing is what we call also respire. Living things, breathe, is the same as respire. When you reach primary 6, you will look at respiration in the details. Living things reproduce. Look at the body that is near you. Look at the hands. Even look at you. You are also, actually, you are a child, which means they produced you. Which means you are living. And when you will grow and finish university, you will also produce, which means you are a living thing. Next we have living things move. Living things move from one place to another. You can move from this way to the other side. You can also move outside, play football. That is moving. And that is what we call locomotive. Living things locomotive. That is the same as movement. Are we together, I think? Very good. Living things feed. The time I'm talking now, you have finished your breakfast. Is it so? Or you may be even eating it. Which means you are a living thing and you need food. Those are some of the characteristics of living things. Now, we can base on those characteristics, then you give examples of living things around you. Look at the ones I have sampled. One, examples of living things. I started with the people. We are living things because we grow. Look at me, I'm also growing, I'm breathing, I'm moving, I'm having such characteristics. Two, living things, other examples of living things, we have cows, we have insects, we have birds, etc. You can look at the environment around you, you pick those living things around you and add on these ones, and even this book of ours. Now, from there, we can go to non-living things. What are non-living things? Non-living things are things that do not grow, things that do not breathe, things that do not feed. There is not any one time the chair you are sitting on will ask you for food. Or will say, you are squeezing me, go away on my chair. No, living things are things that do not grow. You never find your chair you are sitting on when it is growing. It is an unliving thing. Living things do not breathe. Therefore, we look at those futures, then we get their definition. Examples of non-living things. Look around you, and first of all, look at those things that do not grow, things that do not feed, things that do not breathe. One, I picked some of you. One, the stone. Two, the pencil. Look at the pencil you are handling now, or that is in your set. Can it grow? You got it when it can fit properly in your set, it will remain fitting there because it does not grow. Two, we have soil. Soil does not grow. Next, we have a rock. We have mountains. We have books. Look at your book. Even in this very book you bought from our school. Look at it. Is it growing? Is it breathing? Which means it is an unliving thing. We have water. The water that you drink, the water that you bathe is an unliving thing because it does not breathe, it does not grow, it does not move. Are we together there? Now, we looked at some characteristics of non-living things. What futures do you look at for you to consider that a stone is really a non-living thing? One, non-living things do not grow. They don't grow. For them, they remain as they are. Next, non-living things do not feed. A stone will never ask you for food. Like you can take a goat for grazing. Next, non-living things do not move. Where you leave your cup is where you will find it. It will never move like that cat of you. I think some of you have cats as your pets. You can find a cat in the compound, you find it in the house. What about a cup? Where you leave a cup is where you find it. It means that a cup is an unliving thing, while a cat is a living thing. Non-living things do not excrete. Excreting means passing out waste products. You can even, when you are at school, you ask your teacher, may I go for short coat? You can't urinate. You are excreting. Two, you are breathing in and out. Actually, when you reach P7, you are going to look at excretory system, where we look at living things passing out waste products from their body. Therefore, non-living things do not do that. You will never handle your book and a book urinate on you. No, because a book is an unliving thing. Next, non-living things do not reproduce. If living things reproduces, you could look at the book. You can even get very many books from the one you got, or you get very many pencils. You get one pencil, then it starts producing. You find you had one pencil, then within a week you have 30 pencils. But because non-living things do not reproduce, the pencil you have will remain one pencil. From there, we moved to animals. We have animals in our environment. They are animals like cows, rats, cats, lizards. Those animals that you normally see and you like playing with them. Is it so? Now, examples of animals in our environment. We have insects. First of all, we have insects. 2, we have frogs. Those ones that you normally see them hopping in the swamps there. Those ones who are near swamps, you see them. We have birds. You have birds at home. I think you have goat. You have hens. You have ducks, turkeys. Those ones are animals. Very good. We have toad. The toad. Next we have people. We are also animals. Some of you say, yeah, that has told me that I'm an animal. No, you are an animal. If you want to discover that you are an animal, touch your head, there is hair. Then you look at the goat. It also has hair. You get it? Which means we are also animals. Good. From there, we started picking those animals as we look at them in details. We started with insects. What is an insect? And how do you tell your brother in a baby that, my brother, can I tell you, this is an insect? First of all, look at an insect. Actually, insects are animals with jointed legs and 3 main body parts. You look at their legs, have joints, and they have 3 main body parts. Examples of insects, those ones that you normally play with, the one you sell even chase, the ones you get and kill, those ones there. One, we start with the housefly. Where you are sitting now, you may look around and it's a housefly. It's an insect. Next, we have bees. Those ones that you see visiting flowers, those ones that you see and even fear, you say, it's an insect. We have bed bugs, we have beetles, we have grasshoppers, those ones that Uganda sell. They come and sell grasshoppers to people, and actually they eat them. Then we have locusts. They are also examples of, and many others. I think you will discover very many insects around you there. Now, insects also have characteristics. For you to tell your brother and your baby that this is an insect, first of all, see the features on the insect. One, we looked at the first characteristics, things that we can look at and we tell that this is really an insect. One, insects breathe through spiracles. Insects breathe through spiracles. As you have your nose, you have your lungs. Even the insects have spiracles they use for breathing in and out, in and out. So that's the first characteristic. The second characteristic, insects have 3 main body parts. The word main, insects have 3 main body parts. Insects have 3 main body parts. You put the word main because there are other parts like wings, like legs. But when we talk about main body parts, we talk about the head, we talk about the thorax, we talk about the abdomen. We talk about those 3 parts, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Those are the 3 main parts of an insect. That's what we are talking about here. That insects have 3 main body parts. Thirdly, insects have 3 pairs of legs. If you don't want to write the word pair for me, the word pair is a problem with me, you say insects have 6 legs. Insects have 6 legs. As simple as that. So when you consider these 3 characteristics, you classify those things you are seeing you to insects, then you remove those ones that are not insects. We moved to the structure of an insect. When you open page 62 in your book, open page 62 in your book, there is a structure of an insect. In bracket, housefly. Now, our insect is clothed with all parts. We say that insects have 3 main body parts. That's what we look at: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Insects also have other parts that are important. The first one, the compound eye. There are 2. Can be called compound eyes or compound eye if you are pointing at one. 2, we have the feelers. The feeler. Those ones that have ever seen cockroaches. Cockroaches have long ones. You can even see them before you see a cockroach. You see something moving. If you know a cockroach very well, then you sense that that is a cockroach coming. Then insects have wings. Insects have wings. You know them and you are seeing them. Insects have spiracles. These ones we talked about that they are used for breathing. Insects have the ovipositor. This ovipositor, we shall look at it. It is used for laying eggs. Insects have jointed legs. Their legs are jointed. They have joints. As you are looking at your diagram there in your book. I think this is our structure. Look at it very well and check those parts and learn their spellings. Okay. As we looked at the parts of that insect, those parts have functions. One, we looked at the antenna. They are the feelers. The ones we say that they are also parts of an insect. One, what are the feelers used for? Feelers are used for feeling the danger, sensing that there is something coming that may be dangerous, then the insect will run away. Like when you look at a cockroach, immediately reach a cockroach, the cockroach will run away and hide using those feelers. Next we have compound eyes. The one eye used for seeing. Then we have spiracles, the ones I said that they are used for breathing. Next we have the wings. Wings, self-explanatory, used for flying from one place to another. We have types of insects. Open page 63 in that book. Open page 63 in that book. We have types of insects. These insects are grouped into two types. One, we have harmful insects. Two, we have useful insects. Then we started with harmful insects. What do these harmful insects do before they are said that these insects are harmful? And when you see it, if you don't kill it, you run away because they are harmful. One, we said that harmful insects are insects that destroy crops. Those ones you know, that destroy crops. Two, spread diseases, and others sting. I think you can now see, you can classify the insects that destroy crops. Two, you can classify the insects that spread diseases, the house flies. Next, you can look at the insects that sting. If you joke with it, it gives you somewhere, then you feel pain. Examples of harmful insects. One, we started with the bee, because a bee stings, and when it stings you, you can swallow the whole face. Only one sting. Don't joke with it. It is harmful. Two, we have cockroaches. Those ones you have them. You normally see them. You find them in those latrines outside there. You can find them there. They are also harmful. Deadly. Next we have wasps. Wasps normally come in the house to stay there with you. But when you find it, it is dangerous because it can sting. Next we have bed bugs. Bed bugs. Those ones, they stay in beds. They stay in beds. That's why we say that bed bugs, they are also harmful because they keep on sucking your blood, and become anemic. Then in number 5, we have locusts. You remember, locusts came here this very year before COVID-19, and people danced ding ding. People tried to spray locusts to die, but locusts were just coming as if we are welcoming them. When they get the crops, there isn't any green leaf that remains there. Therefore, locusts are also dangerous. Then from there, open page 64 in our book. We looked at useful insects. What are useful insects? You look at such insects that help you in very many activities. One, We started with grasshoppers. We eat them. We eat grasshoppers, and for me I buy them and I eat them. In this way in Uganda, people have got money in selling grasshoppers. They go and hunt them at night, then they eat them. Which means grasshoppers are useful to man. Next we have white ants. Those ones, I also hunted them. They have white wings, that's why they are called white ants. They are also eaten like grasshoppers, commonly found in those areas of Osoga and other areas. I know you have ever seen white ants. Next we have bees. Remember, here in harmful insects I talked about bees as harmful because it stings when you disturb it. But again, when we came here, in useful insects, again we mentioned bees. How are they useful? They provide honey. They make honey for us. And I know you also like honey, putting it on your bread before you brush it. Is it so? Then we have butterflies. These butterflies are also useful. How? They pollinate flowers. They pollinate flowers. Then those flowers will turn into fruits. Then you get a fruit. You eat a mango. You get a mango and you start crushing it. Ways in which insects protect themselves. Now, when you disturb an insect, or when an insect senses danger, it looks for the way of protecting itself. One, we started with bees. If you disturb a bee, you know these bees do not disturb people. For them, they move on their businesses to look for nectar, for making honey. Now, when you can't disturb it, in order to protect itself to remain alive, it will sting you because you will become its enemy. Bees sting their enemy. Therefore, they protect themselves by stinging. Next, we have housefly. This housefly takes away. It flies away because for it, that is its nature. When you immediately reach it, it goes away. It does not wait to be killed. Then we have wasps. Wasps and bees protect themselves in the same way. Stinging. When you disturb it, it stings you. Then for you start scratching yourself as it is going laughing. Then we have bed bugs. The bed bug, when you start chasing it or disturbing it, for it will produce a bad smell. And when it produces a bad smell for you, there's something smelling, then you will leave it and you go away. For it will remain there. To start laughing, yeah, I have finished you, have given you a bad one. Therefore, a bed bug produce bad smell to protect itself. We looked at the importance of some insects. These insects are important to us. In which way? Look at here. Some insects are eaten as food. We talked about grasshoppers. We talked about white ants. Those ones are eaten as food. And for me, when I don't eat the grasshopper or white ants, I don't feel like I'm living. I need to hunt for them, then I eat some. 2, some insects provide us with honey. The ones I talked about, bees. Bees provide us with honey. Next, some insects pollinate flowers. The bees, the butterflies. Those ones protect and they pollinate flowers. So these are the few importance. And when you look at those books, there are some areas that you will find when we have given 4 importance of insects or 5. So you can add on those ones that are there. When we look at this book, we looked at some areas that you looked at in P2. We did not look at them. There are parts that I told you in the beginning that need real attention. Therefore, open page 74. Page 74. There is fish. There is fish, and this part is examinable. You will never find a paper without the structure of a fish, without a question about fish. That's why I decided to look at it with you. Now, what is fish? Fish is a living thing. that spends its life in water, the fish will never get out of water. And when you pick it out of water, the fish will die. Because for it breathes in dissolved oxygen in water. When you breathe it out, it will not have oxygen, which is dissolved, and it will die. This is the structure of a fish. When you look at the structure, I know you have ever eaten fish there. Very many types of fish you've eaten. And when you look at this, you remember the fish you have ever seen and taken. You get it? Now, the fish has parts, as you are seeing in your book. One, the fish has the dorsal fin. Look at the spelling of dorsal fin. The fish has dorsal fin. Next, the fish has the eye. When I talk about the eye, it is the eye you are also using for seeing. Next, we have the fish has the nostril. It has the nostrils. Next, the fish has the mouth. It has the gill cover. When you check in your book, it is there. It has the gill cover. The fish, there is this part here. There is this part here. It is called pectoral fin. It's called pectoral fin. It was pecked on the gill cover. It is just pecked there. That's why it's called pectoral fin. It is there. Then down here, we have the pelvic fin. It's called pelvic fin. All of them are fins. And when we shall be looking at the function, we shall look at the function of fins to a fish. Then from here we have another part here, which is called anal fin. It's called anal fin. It is near the anal. It's called anal fin. When we move to this part here is called the tail fin. It's called the tail fin. It is the tail. Therefore, it is the tail fin. Then when we move inside this way, there is that line there, which is dotted. It is there. It is a line in the fish. And that line is very important. And whenever the fish comes in your examination, they will ask about this part. This part is the lateral line. This part is the lateral line. This part is the lateral line. Then there are these parts here. These parts here. I know you know them. These ones here. They are the scales. They are the scales of the fish. We looked at some uses of these parts. Uses of these parts. The nostril. For you, you have your nostrils, but yours is for taking in air. But the nostril of a fish is for smelling food. Is for smelling food. For it just hunts by smelling. And when it senses food by its smell, it goes there quickly. Then we have the gill cover. We have the gill cover. The word gill cover. You cover something. The gill cover protects the gills. Protects the gills. It is well drawn and the line is there. The line, then we have the gills. The gills are inside there. The gills are inside there. When you get the fish, if daddy buys the fish, you can check before even being cut into pieces. You check and see those gills. They are there. Most especially the raw fish, the one which was not dried. You will find it there. The gills are used for breathing of a fish. Don't confuse the nostrils and the gills. The gills are used for breathing. The nostrils are used for smelling food materials. It's there, being protected by the gill cover. Then from there we moved to the scales. These scales here that covers the fish's body. These scales are used for protection. They protect the skin of the fish from damage. They protect the skin of the fish from damage. Which means when this fish in its movement finds some things that are piercing materials in water there, those materials will not damage the fish's skin because the gills will be protecting the skin from damage. Then from there, we move to the lateral line. Lateral line. This lateral line is used for sensing danger in water. For sensing danger in water. You know, fish also have enemies in water. Others also are on land, which means if you step in water, mere stepping in water, the fish around that area will sense that there is something going on using this lateral line. Therefore, the fish will take off because this one will have sensed that there is danger in water. Therefore, this part is the one that senses danger in water. And from there, we looked at uses of fish to people. Is fish useful to you? Do you see fish important to you? One, we started with source of food. Fish is a source of food. For me, I enjoy fish. What about you there? I know you enjoy them. You have ever eaten very many types of fish in your area there. Now, fish is a source of food. We eat them. Very many process them. Two, fish is used for making animal feeds. They process animal feeds using the fish themselves and the fish bones. Then they mix with those animal feeds. Then animals enjoy. The birds eat animal feeds. The animals themselves, the cows, the goats, the pigs, they eat these things here. The food that's made using fish. Then fish is a source of income when sold. There are people who stay on lake shores and river banks. Their work is fishing. They fish. After fishing, they sell fish. They pay school fees. They buy cars. They buy land. They buy other things at home. Their work is to fish. After fishing, they sell. Which means fish is used for making, actually fish is a source of income when sold. These are the few uses of fish. When you look at that book, you find other uses there in details. Then ways in which fish is able to live in water. We can call it adaptation of the fish to living in water. What are the things that make this fish not even to think of getting out of the water? What are those things? One, we looked at the gills. The fish have gills for breathing in water. Which means when the fish is in water, it uses gills for breathing. Now, that's why the fish will never go out of the water because of its gills, which are used for breathing. Next, we looked at fish have fins. These fins I told you the other time that we have pectoral fin, we have pelvic fin, we have anal fin, we have tail fin, we have dorsal fin. Those ones are used for swimming in water. For swimming in water. For you, when you go for swimming, you use the hands for swimming and the legs. But a fish uses 5 parts for swimming. And all of them are fins. Therefore, fish have fins for swimming in water. Thirdly, fish have streamlined body. Whenever you see a fish is streamlined in front, it is streamlined in front to swim easily in the water. Well streamlined. This is the major feature for the fish that enables it to swim easily and quickly in the water. Its body is streamlined. Streamlined means that it is sharp in front to penetrate that water easily. For you, when you are swimming, you may find that as you are swimming, water is pushing you backwards. You go swimming, the water is pushing you up backwards. But when you find fish, for it is streamlined. It just penetrates that water and it goes easily. Therefore, these are the parts of the fish that enables it to stay in water. And this is what I wanted to look at with you in this book. Thank you for listening. I remain Katakubashi, P3, Take care of COVID-19. Take care of COVID-19. Use a mask as your weapon. Thank you for listening.